Hey guys, this is Jabroni, and today I want to show you an attack style of a Queen Charge Flame Flinger Super Dragon with Dragon Rider attack. And if you don't have Super Dragons unlocked, you can do the same attack style with some regular dragons and Dragon Riders mixed together. For those of you who have had experience doing a Queen Charge Miners Hog Riders hybrid attack, well, then you're going to find the attack style I'm going to use in this video is very, very similar. The biggest difference is instead of using miners and hog riders, you're going to use dragons and dragon riders, or super dragons and dragon riders. The reason I like to bring 5 or 6 balloons is for multiple purposes. First of all, a balloon can be used to test to see if there's any Teslas that would be popping up that would ruin your flame flinger. They can also be used to take down mortars that, again, would target your flame flinger, destroying it too early. At least one test balloon should be used to protect your healers from a seeking air mine. And a test balloon can also be used to protect your baby dragon for funneling purposes. And finally, a test balloon can be used to protect your dragons. Super dragons, regular dragons, whatever you might be using. The invisibility spell is for the queen, and it can be used at a variety of times. Possibly if the queen's being targeted by a single target inferno, if she's being targeted by, say, an enemy hero. It could also be possibly used to save the healers from being targeted by the Town Hall's rays or Inferno rays. So that's what the invisibility spell is used for. The Quake spell has one purpose, which is to activate the Town Hall so that way the Flame Flinger will target it. Now, if you're not going to use the Flame Flinger to take down the Town Hall, if you're going to use the Queen instead, then you really don't need the Quake spell. To make this attack work, there are 5 things that you definitely have to make sure that you do. The first of which is to keep your queen alive. The rage spell on the healers is the #1 way to keep her alive, but you're sometimes also going to need to use a freeze spell, possibly the invisibility spell that I was mentioning earlier. You have to keep the queen alive because if she does not stay alive, then your chances of getting a 3-star is basically not going to happen. The #1 enemy to the queen, other than an enemy hero, would be enemy clan castle troops that consist of headhunters or super minions. When dealing with super minions, not only are you going to want to rage the healers that are on your queen, but you're going to need to poison those super minions as soon as possible, and I also suggest putting a freeze spell on them. So that way, you're just doing as much as you possibly can to save your queen. I've had so many times where super minions single-handedly took down my queen. Even when she went into auto ability, it still wasn't enough because of the shots that were firing down from the super minions. Second key to success is to protect your flame flinger. And as I mentioned before, one of the reasons I bring a balloon, and you could also bring like a Yeti if you needed to, is to draw out Teslas that could possibly target your flame flinger. Because if one Tesla starts to lock on the flame flinger, it's going to lower its health down to half health or 2/3 health, and that means the flame flinger will not last as long as you need it to. You do not want to put your flame flinger at an area where it can get locked on by expos or by mortars. And that's why on some of my attacks that I've done, I will use my balloons to take down the mortars early on if I want to put my flame flinger in that direction. You also do not want to put your flame flinger at a location where enemy heroes are located or where the enemy clan castle would be lured out, because as soon as those troops start hitting your flame flinger, it's going to go down very early. Third key to success, learn how to make a funnel for your queen. Sometimes you're going to know exactly where you want your queen to go, and in that case, you might use balloons, you might use the baby dragon. Those kind of tools that are very simple to use can be used to help funnel your queen to where you want her to go. As you can see here on this tack, I use the balloons to take down a mortar, and then I use the baby dragon to take out the other structures to the right of where the queen was to make sure that she went into the town hall compartment. But there are other times where you might not know exactly which way your queen is going to go, and you might be okay with either one. Like, for example, on this one, I know I want my queen to get the eagle, but I didn't know if the queen was going to go up to the left or go down to the right. Now, in this case, she went down to the right. So as soon as I saw which way she was going, I placed my baby dragon down to take down the structure that would have forced my queen to continue walking around the outside. And once that cannon was down, now I can make sure that she is going into the compartment that has the eagle. So funneling is a huge part of something you need to learn to force your queen to go where you need her to go. Fourth key to success, use your Barb King to create a funnel for your super dragons or regular dragons and dragon riders. This one is a little bit harder for me to explain, so let me do the best that I can. Your queen is going to take down a certain corner, whether it's the eagle compartment or whether it's the town hall compartment. That's normally what your queen is used for. The exception would be if the town hall is in the middle of the base, and I'll get to an example of that later in this video. But let's use the examples of when the queen is taking down the town hall or the eagle compartment. Once that corner is taken down, you're going to want to deploy your dragons either to the left or to the right of where, or sorry, in this case it'd be the top right or the bottom right, basically adjacent to where the queen's corner has already begun. But you don't want your dragons to go around the outside. So on this example, you're going to see I'm going to bring my Barb King from this 12 o'clock corner. And his purpose is to take down the buildings over here on the far right, and that then will create a lane for your dragons to go towards the middle, because the queen already took out this left corner, so the king taking out the structures over here in this top right corner will then force the dragons to go towards the middle, which is where the enemy clan castle is, where the scatter shots are, and the inferno towers. That's how you want to use your Barb King. And then finally, the fifth thing you got to make sure you do correctly is to use your royal champion wherever she might be needed. And so there's one thing you definitely need to learn with the royal champion. Do not put her at buildings where the flame flinger could end up taking down by itself. Because if you do that, you're going to be taking away the targets from the flame flinger, making it less effective. The flame flinger is very, very slow. It's going to take a while for it to retarget the next closest defensive building. So you don't want to use the royal champion in the area of the flame flinger. Instead, you might want to use the royal champion at defenses that your queen's not going to get or that your flame flinger's not going to get, and also places where the dragons are not going to get to. Now, this was a bad example because I put the royal champion near the enemy Barb King, and so she ended up dying. Now, on this attack, you're going to notice that my queen is over here at the top right taking down those buildings. The flame flinger's over here on the left, starting to move up, taking down those defenses. My dragons have been deployed over here. I want them to go to the middle. The Barb King is working his way around on the left. So what defenses are not going to be taken down? Well, this air defense, I would like for it to go down. It's not going to be taken down by the flame flinger, and it's not going to be taken down by my queen. Obviously, an air defense is an enemy to my dragons. Also, this single target inferno is starting to target my dragon riders and my super dragons. So on this attack, since my queen's up here taking down these defenses and my flame flinger's over here on the left taking down those defenses, starting to move its way up, putting my royal champion down here near the bottom on the left was the most helpful place for her to go. Now, the Barb King actually ended up punching through the wall and getting that air defense, so I didn't anticipate that happening, but it did happen. So this is going to take some practice, learning where to put your royal champion at a location that your queen's not going to get to, that your dragons might not get to, that the flame flinger is not going to get to. You want to put that royal champion at that type of location. All right, so the first attack I'm going to show you here is where I'm going to use my queen to take down the town hall and my flame flinger to take down the eagle. Now, why did I make this decision? Here's the main reason why. Yes, there were some mortars over here near the town hall, but honestly, I could take them out with some balloons, so that's not the reason I didn't put my flame flinger over here. The reason I didn't choose to bring my flame flinger to the town hall was because there's two expos. And not only are there two expos near the town hall, they're both set to ground. And the range on ground expos is just way too problematic for a flame flinger. I'll be honest with you, even if they were set to the air, they still have a considerable range on them, and they can still end up taking down your Flame Flinger very early. And so that's why I chose to bring the queen towards the town hall, even over here. And that might surprise you because there was a single target Inferno, and so I had to definitely plan for that to make sure my queen didn't die from it. So here was the plan. I start with the test balloon, and the Flame Flinger will come over here and take down these defenses and the enemy eagle. For the town hall, I'm going to use 2 balloons to take down this mortar, and on this attack, I wanted to make sure that my queen moved up this way and then into the town hall compartment. The reason I chose that is because I thought it was easier for my baby dragon to take down these buildings here, because on the other symmetrical side, there was a builder hut. And so that's one more defense that would be shooting down my baby dragon if I put the baby dragon down there at the bottom. So that's why I didn't choose for the queen. I didn't want the queen to go down to down towards the south. I instead wanted the queen to work her way up and then into the town hall. So obviously I needed 1 super wall breaker to punch in to the wall around here. Now, I did bring a second super wall breaker, and it ended up not being very helpful. My hope was to punch one of these other walls out, so that way my queen could continue her way walking in, maybe getting the scatter shot over here on the left. But you'll see when I do the attack, the second super wall breaker was not that helpful. So the queen's job is to take down the town hall and all of those buildings in that area. This clan castle was in the middle, so the queen is not going to end up luring out the clan castle on this attack. Some other attacks I might show you, the enemy clan castle will end up being lured out and going towards the queen. But on this attack, that was not the case. So if I zoom out here, you're going to notice I got the stuff on the right taken out by the Flame Flinger. I got the stuff on the left taken out by the queen. So I'm either going to bring the dragons either to the bottom right of where the queen started or to the top right of where the queen started. For whatever reason, and I don't even honestly remember why I chose this the way I did, but I brought my dragons from up here. Now, to force the dragons to go into the middle, I need to use my Barb King to take down the buildings out here on the top right edge. There is an opening here in this walls that did allow the Barb King to come into that section, which was okay, to be quite honest with you. It allows the Barb King to take down the air defense there, possibly, maybe get the enemy royal champion, maybe not. And then I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to use my royal champion. It kind of depends which way that the Flame Flinger ends up walking and which way my queen ends up walking. So I know I'm going to probably bring the royal champion either into this area here, maybe coming down here. Another possibility is maybe up here, although the Barb King is in that area, but there are some walls preventing the Barb King from taking down these structures here. Now, when you see the replay, you're going to see that I did bring the royal champion towards these defenses. And honestly, this was a really dumb idea on my part because the enemy Barb King's right there. All right, so here we go. Test balloon is put down to make sure that there's no Teslas here, because this is a fresh hit, and that's how CWL works. I don't know if there's Teslas here, so I want to make sure the Flame Flinger does not get destroyed by a surprise Tesla. While that happens, I immediately start working with my queen charge. So this is something you need to learn when doing these attacks. As soon as you are realizing that your Flame Flinger is safe, there's no surprise Tesla that's popped up, you need to immediately start your queen charge. And so what I did is I used 2 balloons to take down the mortar there at the bottom left, or the far left corner over there, kind of towards the bottom side of where that air defense was. And I want my queen to start working her way up a little bit, and then I'll use a super wall breaker to punch her in. I used 2 test balloons, and I just realized something. I don't know if you just noticed what I did. I didn't put my healers down right away because there was an air defense here, and I was afraid that the range of the air defense would have started shooting down my healers early. So That's why I waited to put my healers down. Sometimes you'll put your healers down right away. Other times you need to wait if there's an air defense in that corner. All right, so test balloon is brought up here. The baby dragon starts to take down these structures, which will prevent my queen from continue walking up. I want her to go into the town hall compartment. Since the queen is taking down the town hall, I did not need to bring a quake spell. So instead of the quake spell, I brought a second invisibility spell, which was very helpful because of the single target inferno at this location. So from here, we're using the rage spells. I didn't need to use a free spell quite yet, even though I do have two ground target ground target expos shooting at my queen. I'm patiently looking to see if the queen's going to lose too much health. But at some point, you need to start the Barb King and the dragons. If you wait too long, then you're going to run into a time fail. So I put my Barb King up here at the top corner. The super dragons and dragon riders with the warden come in between where the queen was and where the Barb King is. And that's going to force them into the middle of the base, which is where I want them to go. Notice the Flame Flinger is slowly still doing work. At this point, the Flame Flinger has taken down the eagle. I use the warden's ability to protect the super dragons from the enemy clan castle troops. The other time you might use the warden's ability is if the eagle's not been taken down yet. You'll use the warden's ability maybe to time it with the shots coming from the eagle. So I do have some free spells left. I freeze the multi-target inferno to try to prevent it from hurting too many of my dragons. Sometimes you're going to use the majority of your free spells to keep the queen alive. Other times you'll have the luxury of using your free spells on an inferno, or as you saw there from the scatter shot. I didn't want the scatter shot to shoot down my warden. At this point, you do have two minions, and you need to use them wisely with cleanup. I noticed that I had these buildings over here at the right corner, and so one of my minions went there. I don't remember where the other minion went. I must have put it somewhere else, but yeah, forgive me for not remembering where I put that minion. So at this point, my queen's still alive, and that means the number one goal that you need to make sure that you're doing has been achieved. My queen is alive. I do have one more super dragon alive, which is great. The last defense goes down. The only other thing I have to worry about is the enemy Barb King, but that's not a problem. As soon as that super dragon takes down his little platform there, then we're pretty much good to go here. And there you go, 3 stars. All right, second attack I'm going to show you. This one's a very similar base design to the first attack I showed you, but there's a very noticeable difference. This time the Expos are not protecting the town hall. Instead, they're protecting the eagle. So on this base, I don't want to bring my Flame Flinger to the eagle because it's going to get shot down by those Expos. Instead, I'm going to bring the Flame Flinger to take down the town hall. Now, there are mortars protecting the town hall, so I need to take down those mortars by using balloons on both. One balloon's not going to be enough. Ever since the update where they increased the hit points on the mortars, one balloon with its crash damage is not going to be enough to take down the mortar. And also, using only one balloon would not be great because you got air defenses that are covering those mortars. So I use 2 balloons on each of the mortars, and then I bring the Flame Flinger to start taking down this stuff. This time, since the Flame Flinger is going to take down the town hall, you must use the Quake spell on the town hall. Otherwise, it's not going to be activated, and therefore the Flame Flinger won't treat it as a defense, and therefore it'll never target it. So you got to remember to use the Quake spell whenever you're going to use the Flame Flinger to take down the town hall. So Flame Flinger will take down those defenses in the left corner. My queen is going to start working, and on this one, I don't really know if I have a preference for her to go towards the bottom left or for her to go to the top left. I really don't have a preference here. So I'm going to kind of wait and see which way she's going to go. As soon as I know which way she's going to go, then I will use a baby dragon to take down, whatever structure I need to prevent the queen from walking around the outside. So maybe take the structure here if the queen's walking in that direction, or maybe take down the gold mine up there, something like that, and then use the super wall breaker to punch her in. Now, you have to be a little careful when you have two air defenses in the corner where you're going to start your queen charge, because depending on the pathing of your healers as they follow the queen, they might get in range of one of those air defenses. So I had to definitely be aware of that and be prepared to use possibly a freeze spell on one of those air defenses, or maybe my invisibility spell to protect not only my queen, but also the healers and the unicorn at the same time. So the queen's going to take down these structures, and then I have to decide which way I'm going to bring my dragons. Either up here or possibly over on this side. So which one do you choose? Well, sometimes it doesn't honestly matter, but on this base, I noticed there was a single target inferno here and a multi-target inferno here. So what I decided is that I would rather have my Warden's ability possibly protecting my super dragons when they are near a single target inferno. And that's the reason I ended up choosing to bring my super dragons and dragon riders with the Warden behind from this location. And as always, you need to use your Barb King to start taking down structures here on the outside to keep the super dragons going towards the middle. And then the Royal Champion, where do I bring her? You'll see on the video that I wanted to bring the Royal Champion, and I think I already explained this when I was talking about where to use the Royal Champion. I brought her in this direction, hopefully to maybe take down the air defense or to definitely help out with taking the single target Inferno down. And then, you just use whatever spells you have remaining that you didn't use on the Queen to help keep the Super Dragons and Dragon Riders alive. Might consider using a freeze spell on the Scatter Shot or maybe the enemy Queen. However, I am going to use the Warden's ability probably fairly early on. Sometimes you want to save the Warden's ability for when the Super Dragons get close to an Inferno that's near the middle. A lot of base designs will put a lot of red air bombs and some black seeking air mines in the middle. I think base designers have figured out that a lot of people use their Warden's ability early as opposed to late. And so what they'll do is they'll put red air bombs and black seeking air mines near the middle Inferno. So that way it hurts any air attack that's trying to progress through the center of the base, possibly preventing it from being 3 stars. All right, so balloons come down to take down the mortars. Unfortunately, I somehow placed one of my balloons a little bit too far to the right, and it targeted this builder hut. So that was very unfortunate. So I ended up having to use a 5th balloon and a minion as well, because I wanted to really make sure that mortar was taken down. Otherwise, it's going to target my Flame Flinger, which is going to ruin my entire plan. So sometimes you just got to adjust on the fly to make sure things work the way that you need them to work. There was no space near the Flame Flinger where a Tesla could possibly be hiding other than near the mortar. And so since no Tesla popped up right here, I knew that I was good to go with putting the Flame Flinger down. And you have to remember to quake the Town Hall early anytime that the Flame Flinger is going to be the one taking it down. So quake comes down. As soon as that's done, boom, I start doing my Queen charge over here. I don't know which way she's going to go, but right away I notice she's starting to go to the left. So Baby Dragon comes down. I didn't really have a test balloon remaining for the Baby Dragon, so because I had to use the 3rd one or the 5th balloon on that one mortar. Fortunately, there was not a black seeking air mine to destroy my Baby Dragon. Lots of Teslas in this area. It's got to keep the Queen alive, so we're using the Rage spell. And notice, the air defense is starting to shoot down my healers, so I have to use a freeze spell, which I anticipated that was probably going to be the case. So you got to keep the Queen alive, and that means you got to keep your healers alive. So that's why the 2nd freeze was now used. Queen finally shoots down that air defense, and now, this is why it's good to have a 2nd test balloon to protect the healers from a black seeking air mine. You saw one of them just got lost by the black seeking air mine. 2nd super wall breaker comes down. Notice I was able to put it down in time to take down this little corner where the intersection of the walls are located. So that way my queen can go in and or go out and then back in to the scattershot compartment. All right, so once my queen's good to go up there, you put the Barb King down, and then the Super Dragons in between where the queen had started and where the Barb King is located. And that way the goal is for the Super Dragons to continue towards the middle where the scattershot is located. I did use a free spell early on because I want to save the Warden's ability for just a little bit later. And I did have a rage spell to spare, so I used it here early on because I do have an enemy queen and I have the scattershot at this location. Now, unfortunately, when one of my Dragon Riders is about to go down there from the single target Inferno, I guess I did already use my Warden's ability. I apologize, I didn't announce that as I was doing this recap live. So the Royal Champion comes to help with the single target Inferno. And, oh, I forgot to mention, on this attack, I forgot to request rocket balloons. So coming out of my Flame Flinger was a regular dragon and a Dragon Rider. So that's why you saw randomly a regular dragon up there helping to take down some structures up here on the top left. This time my queen does die, but there weren't many defenses remaining, and my Royal Champion's still up along with 3 of the Super Dragons. So cleanup now is not really an issue. So I'll put this fast forward, and once again, we got a 3 stars. All right, third attack I'm going to show you. This time the Town Hall is in the middle. So the queen is not going to be able to take it down. The Flame Flinger is definitely not going to stay alive long enough to take it down. So on this kind of base design, it's the Super Dragons and the Dragon Riders' job to take down the Town Hall. All right, so where do I put the Flame Flinger? You'll notice that there are 2 mortars up here at the north, along with the enemy Royal Champion and the enemy Grand Warden statue. Not that that's normally that much of a problem, but just one more thing. So that's a bad place to put the Flame Flinger. Down here at the south, 2 mortars again, bad place to put the Flame Flinger. I mean, I could maybe try to take them out with some balloons, but I ended up not going for that option. Besides, I got some Expos nearby the Eagles, so they're going to eventually start shooting down the Flame Flinger if I put the Flame Flinger towards the south. So what I decided to do is to bring the queen over here near the enemy queen, take her down early, start that, create that part of the funnel for my Dragon Riders, and to put then the Flame Flinger over here on the south. Now, the one problem with that is that the enemy Barb King could potentially take down the Flame Flinger. All right, so like I said, Flame Flinger is going to start taking down defenses in this corner over here on the left. Ideally, I want the Flame Flinger to take down the scattershot. However, I knew that might not happen. My queen's going to come over here and take care of the stuff in this corner. But in order to make sure she goes where I want her to go, I was going to use my baby dragon early. Instead of waiting to see which way the queen would go on this attack, I decided I wanted her to be forced in a certain direction. So I used the baby dragon to take down these 2 structures here. And then I placed my queen around here, knowing that she can't go to the left, or she's unlikely to go to the left when the baby dragon takes out the the dark elixir storage and the drill. So the queen would possibly shoot down these things, and I'll use the super wall breaker somewhere around here to force the queen into this area. Now, I'm going to have to rage her early, maybe even use an invisibility spell early to keep her alive from the very dangerous scattershot and the enemy queen. Now, my Barb King, I'm going to deploy him down here near the south, and hopefully he'll start walking this way when I put my dragons here in between. I want to make sure that my dragons are forced to go to the middle. I know that my queen's going to take out the stuff here on the right, but what about the stuff over here? So what I decided to do was to wall break somewhere in here to help encourage my king to go into that compartment. And then I also brought my Royal Champion into here to, again, help take down some defenses to force my dragons towards the town hall in the middle. And then whenever your dragons are going to be responsible for taking down the town hall, you definitely need to save maybe a rage spell, ideally, maybe also a freeze spell. You got to save something to give your dragons and dragon riders the extra punch that they need to take down the town hall. All right, so on this attack, I did start the baby dragon earlier than I did the flame flinger. I wanted to make sure the dark elixir storage has a lot of hit points, so I wanted to make sure that was taken down along with this drill next to it to then force my queen to go where I need her to go. So I think that's the reason I chose to put the baby dragon down earlier than the flame flinger. I always use a test balloon. I didn't know if there were Teslas over here in this space, so test balloon first before I put the flame flinger down. And then I'm starting my queen charge over here at the right corner. A super wall breaker already came in to open up those walls. And now I'm going to use a rage spell fairly early, if I remember correctly, because, yeah, she's going to engage the enemy queen very early on. That's very hard for your queen. Got to protect her. All right, king comes down. I had 2 test balloons remaining for the super dragons. Warden between, notice the super wall breaker comes in to punch a wall in for the barb king to hopefully go into that area. I do use a rage spell early on because my super dragons have a lot to deal with here. They have the enemy inferno, they have the eagle, they have air defenses. Notice my royal champion comes down, and again, that's to help along with the king to take down structures to force my super dragons to go towards the middle. All right, here's starting to get a little dicey. I don't have many super dragons and and dragon riders remaining. One of my super dragons is nearly gone, nearly killed. My dragon rider, one of them died, and I only have one remaining. So rage spell comes down to help make sure the town hall goes down. Warden ability here as well to keep them alive as much as possible. And fortunately, now I did use a free spell there to make sure that what is that? A scatter shot. Yeah, that's what it is. Make sure the scatter shot is not going to kill my last super dragon. Unfortunately, that super dragon did go into the poison. But notice, my king is still alive. My queen, I kept her alive. Remember how I said at the beginning of the video, you got to keep the queen alive if you want to have a chance for 3 stars. And amazingly, my king, I think, engaged the enemy king, and so my flame flinger is still alive. Now, it's almost dead, almost gone with all of its health, and you're about to see why I love to have rocket balloons in my flame flinger, because of their initial super fast speed, which helps to take down remaining defenses. So here they come. Boom, cannon is down, which helps my queen stay alive. That's why I love to have rocket balloons. If you have a clanmate who has rocket balloons unlocked, use them in your flame flinger. If not, you're going to have to use a regular dragon and dragon rider, or maybe 4 balloons and a dragon rider, something like that, to go in your flame flinger. Here's an interesting base design. I've hit this many times in Legends and I find it very annoying. However, with this attack style I've been showing in this video, you can get this base demolished as long as you save the Warden's ability for the right time to protect your super dragons and dragon riders. So you'll notice here there are mortars down here, which can be a problem. There were expos near the town hall, so that's why I chose for my queen to go in that area. Since there was a builder hut down here at the bottom, I decided that I did not want to put my flame flinger down there. Instead, I would put it over here where there was not a builder hut. All right, so the balloons come down, take care of the mortar. That way my flame flinger is protected. My baby dragon is put up here trying to take down a few buildings, so that way the queen will be forced to go towards the town hall. I'm going to put this on 2x speed because a lot of these attacks, once you start to see so many of these, you're going to know how this works. So queen eventually takes down the town hall, and I do have to be careful about the mortar at this location. I do not want it to target my flame flinger, so I do bring the barb king down. This is the one troop, the barb king, that you can put near the flame flinger and it's not going to take away the targets, because the barb king is not going to target things over walls. whereas your Flame Flinger will. So sometimes it's okay to put the Barb King next to the Flame Flinger because it's not going to take away the targets of the Flame Flinger. All right, notice I have not used my Warden's ability yet. Like I was mentioning earlier, there I did use my Warden's ability. There are often a lot of traps in the middle, so I'm actually quite surprised that I used the Warden's ability as early as I did. Probably should have saved it for a little bit later. Yep, there's a black Seeking Air Mine, there's a red air bomb, there's another red air bomb. This is why it's probably better to save the Warden's ability for near the center on a lot of these base designs. So all my dragons are now dead. The good news is the Flame Flinger was still alive for a very long time. Rocket balloons come out, my King's still alive, my Queen's still alive, so that's why this attack did work. But if you're going to do this attack on your own, I do suggest saving the Warden's ability for when the dragons are near the middle of the base. And there we go, 3 stars. Now, you might be wondering, can this attack style work on the dreaded symmetrical box space? The answer is maybe. First of all, there are so many different designs of these box bases. Some of them have mortars near the town hall or expos that are even closer to the town hall than what you see here on this version of the design. So sometimes you're going to use the Flame Flinger to take down the town hall. Other times, if there's mortars or expos that are closer, you might need to use your Queen. On this base, I used a test balloon, and I did bring the Flame Flinger to take down the town hall. Now, I did forget to quake it as early as I should have, but eventually I came back and did quake the town hall just in time. I used some balloons to take down some mortars to then create a funnel for my Queen. And I'm going to put this on ×2. Lots of different things down here for the Queen to deal with. There were 2 enemy heroes. There was the clan castle troops. There was an expo that was set to ground. There was the scatter shot. In the end, I almost lost my Queen 1 or 2 times. The Grand Warden statue is also problematic for the Queen. Sometimes you have to freeze it. So the idea was Flame Flinger takes down the town hall. The Queen takes down stuff here at the bottom. Then I would put the King somewhere close to the Flame Flinger. Yep, so it can start taking down those structures because I don't want my dragons to go that way. I want them to go to the middle. My experience is that sometimes you can get your dragons to go towards the eagle. Other times, if they don't go towards the eagle, if the eagle stays alive, then this is not going to result into 3 stars. Rocket balloons already came out of my Flame Flinger. I put my Royal Champion down here. I wanted her to eventually path to the scatter shot. My Queen does die, and since I lost so many troops here, I did still have my Royal Champion, and I had 1 Super Dragon and 1 Dragon Rider, but it just wasn't enough. I did time fail, and that's one of the dangers of this attack. You definitely need to not wait too long to get your dragons. It's kind of a balancing act of protecting your Queen, but also getting your dragons deployed early enough so that way you don't run into a time fail. And the very last attack I want to show you is one that I do not recommend doing in CWL. And that is a teaser type of base where the town hall is near a corner, and at that same corner, you have scatter shots, you have enemy heroes, you have the clan castle. I would not recommend doing the Queen Charge, Flame Flinger, Dragon and Dragon Rider hybrid attack. I would not do it on this base if you have a choice. But this was Legends League. If this was a war, I would have used a Blizzard opener because there's so much value here having the enemy heroes and scatter shots near the town hall. I would have definitely done a Blizzard. But this is Legends League, so what I decided to do is, first of all, I had to figure out where in the world am I going to put my Flame Flinger. You got all these mortars that are going to make any area on the south end not a great place to put the Flame Flinger. And obviously the top here with the enemy heroes and the expos, that's a bad place for the Flame Flinger. So surprisingly, I had to put a Flame Flinger at a place that didn't really accomplish any objectives at all, and that was over here on the right side. My Queen I'm going to end up putting down here at the south, and then I'm going to bring the dragons and dragon riders in between, and I'm going to use the King on the same side of the Flame Flinger to try to take down all these non-defensive structures. Let me go ahead and put this on ×2 so that you can see this attack in action. Yeah, I waited to the very last second to get started because I was definitely thinking of how did I want to attack this space. So here comes the Flame Flinger. It starts doing some work. My queen comes down here. I accidentally deployed 3 test balloons. I should have only done 1 or 2 and then saved another one for whichever Inferno compartment my queen ended up going in. I didn't know which way she was going to go. I start to see she goes to the left, so I do bring a super wall breaker, punch her into this compartment, and then I start to put my king over here on the right. And therefore, I'm going to bring my dragons. Oh, now, notice I don't have super dragons unlocked, so I'm doing the regular dragons and dragon riders combo instead. And then, to try to make sure that my dragons go towards, well, I know they're going to go towards the eagle, but to make sure that they go to the town hall and don't veer off to the left too much, I decided to bring my royal champion over here somewhere on the left to try to take down those defenses, so that way it kind of forces my dragons then to continue towards the town hall. Now, again, this is super risky. I would never do this in CWL if given the choice. Warden's ability is used to try to save the dragons and dragon riders to take down the town hall. This fortunately did work. I've also done this in the past where this did not work and my dragons died too early, didn't make it to the town hall, or I didn't funnel them properly to keep them towards the middle, towards the town hall. But it can possibly work, and if you have enemy heroes near the town hall and scatter shots, you know, you might do this. You might do it this way. Again, I would not recommend this on a CWL attack. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope this was very helpful for you, gives you a strategy that can definitely give you a good chance, if you keep your queen alive, at getting 3 stars. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.